Let's try this again. If you guys don't know already, I asked you guys what are some of your most unpopular opinions on my community tab. Whatever y'all leave there, I would talk on in a video, and now is that time. What's good, everybody? I'm the Rage Quick Guy, back again with another unpopular opinions video, or Rage's Rants, whatever I can't speak, whatever you guys want to call it. Let's get right into it. Something I would like to mention in Fortnite is I really liked when they weren't charging that much for bundles. They were charging 1,500 V-Bucks for a skin and a pickaxe emote, and all that, okay, and a back bling. But now I heard the new Adventure Time bundle is like 8,000, which is a lot for 4 skins. And one thing I don't like is the lack of original skins sometimes, because mostly it's like celebrities or collabs. So to clarify what this person is talking about when it comes to the Adventure Time stuff being 8,000 V-Bucks, I believe that is if you were to buy everything, from the bundles, if you bought the Adventure Time bundle and the car bundle and all the other stuff that isn't sold in a bundle, like the Jake glider and all that, everything. That would then add up to, I think, a little bit more than $90 or something like that. Or in Fortnite terms, like 8,200 something V-Bucks. It is really expensive, and that is something I'm noticing a lot more and more. For whatever reason, Epic is starting to make it to where skins are not being sold with back blings anymore. I believe the first skin in a while that we've actually seen that has this is the skin Finn the Human. If they want to make collabs expensive, because I understand that they have to, do it like how they did with the skins like Dude or Dreamer, where they're 1,200 V-Bucks. They don't have a back bling or anything like that. Okay, that's fine. 1,200 V-Bucks for them because they're a collab. I understand that. I know this with Cowboy Bebop. The skins were 1,500 V-Bucks separately without a back bling, but the back blings were an extra 300 V-Bucks in the bundle. So I feel like if you're gonna start selling skins without their back blings at all, just lower them down. So if the back bling is worth 300, lower that price down on the skin. So now the skin is 1,200 V-Bucks. I don't get why they have to be 1,500 V-Bucks even without the back bling. And the lack of original skins, I see a lot of people complaining about that also. There's not really much we can do about that. I don't really have much to say on it because this is a conversation that people have had for years now. The Mortal Kombat weapons are way too OP. Define OP in this specific context. I actually know somebody who's in Fortnite comp, and from what they tell me, the Mortal Kombat stuff isn't as much of a problem, at least for them. Maybe it's just the lobbies that they just so happen to be loading into. But when it comes to, I've seen so many clips last season of the Typhoon Blade being OP. In the case of the Mortal Kombat mythics, I don't think as many people are complaining about it for what I've seen. With the Mortal Kombat stuff, I think it's not as much of a problem because, of course, these things have durability. So meaning you have to be a little bit more strategic in how you use them. The only one I could definitely see being a problem is the mythic version of the Scorpion mythic, because that one has slightly more damage than the original, and it is infinite durability. So unless you're dying to that, I don't know if a lot of these mythics are OP, like the Mortal Kombat ones, if I should specify. I haven't had too many instances where I had trouble with them, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I was so hyped for the Adventure Time collab since it's my favorite show, but I feel like they ruined it so hard when they took half of it out of the bundle with no gear bundle. Like, I have most of it, and I'm currently guilting my friends for gifts because I'm Canadian. In Canadian, it's like $60 to get everything. As I was talking in another comment before, yeah, it is pretty expensive. But yeah, that's something else I also didn't touch on in the other comment. It seems like Epic doesn't seem to believe in gear bundles anymore. It's either all of it is in one bundle, or it's in one bundle and then the rest of it just doesn't have a bundle at all. The last time I think they did this was those, girl Adidas skins, like those 5 skins or something like that. The one with where you can customize their makeup and everything. That was the last time I could remember them having a gear bundle for a collaboration. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think we've seen any so far in this year so far, 2025. It's either, like I said, it's all either in one bundle, or some of it is in one bundle, and the rest of it is just sold separately. So as to why Epic is just not making new gear bundles, they're releasing some they're releasing the gear bundles for old bundles and collabs. Like for example, the Wu-Tang stuff. They released that gear bundle. They didn't sell the stuff separately. But I'm curious about is this like a legal thing? Like, are they is Adventure Time? They're telling them like, hey, we don't want a gear bundle or something like that. Or is this Epic choosing to do this? Part of me wants to think this is Epic choosing to do this. I don't know why, but I just got like a feeling, like my spidey senses are tingling. That's what I think is going on, kind of. Fortnite collabs are getting worse each time. I think that Fortnite is running out of people to collab with, so they do random stuff with companies. It is also annoying that they constantly add a part 2 or part 3 to a collab when they have nothing. For example, the JJK collab, or any of the anime stuff. For mini passes, people are paying money for that thing, that it'll be exclusive, the collab version, but then everything ends up coming to the item shop. This is a talking point I've seen so many people talk on for years now, of course. The whole collabs are getting worse and worse. I see this pop up every here and there, but I never really engaged in the conversation, so I guess this is my time. Are Fortnite collabs getting worse each time? Let me ask you this now. What are you basing it off of? You know, when it comes to collabs getting worse. Like from a gameplay perspective, or a cosmetic perspective? In the case of cosmetics, yes, I do think you're right about that collabs are getting a little bit worse, like we talked on with the Adventure Time stuff. Gameplay, I really don't know. There's some collabs I do think that could be done better. One that I see as in recent years is the Fallout collab. I saw so many people saying that they could have done it to where they had like a bunch of default as models for the and just have them in like Vault Boy clothing or something, but nope. We didn't get that. So they do random stuff with your random companies or whatever. This is something I have seen a lot of people talk on. Like basically, some of the collabs do feel random, like such as I think Kaiju number 8. From what I've heard of that, that anime is a little bit of a newer one. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's not as popular as stuff like, let's say, Naruto or Dragon Ball or something like that. But it is like one of the newer animes. I myself didn't hear of it until it was coming to Fortnite. So I do ask you, define random stuff with companies. And when it comes to the whole part 2, part 3 thing, is there necessarily anything wrong with that? As far as I'm concerned, no. Because the whole JJK one, this was a part, people have been wanting a part 2 for years. Ever since, I think there was a cup that was leaked last year in April, but then we never got anything like that. There was so many, there was a few skins that were leaked. People wanted this, but yet, for whatever reason, they just didn't release it. I'm not sure what happened right there. So are part 2s or part 3s a bad thing? No, not necessarily. In the case of JJK, remember, the Wave 2 that we got, this is like a little bit more than a year after the original collab that we had. And when it comes to mini passes, collab or not, there is like a disclaimer there that says that it can return to the item shop. Like the cosmetics specifically, not like the mini pass itself. The only stuff that seems to stay exclusive is stuff like, say, the emojis that you get there and all that stuff. I know with the green roots Billie Eilish skin, they made it to where that one edit style, that little darker green that's reactive to music, they made it to where that one is exclusive, that edit style. I'm not sure what else you want me to tell you, but that's kind of everything. Jam tracks should be 100 V-Bucks or less. They are nowhere near as good as emotes. They should also have different animations for certain songs, like Juice WRLD dancing next to the mic. As to how much jam tracks should be charged for, should they be 100 V-Bucks or less? I don't think they're gonna go anything lower than 100 V-Bucks. I think a lot of people would agree that jam tracks probably should be lowered down in price because of a few things actually. Yes, you can use jam tracks as lobby music, which is something that people have been wanting when Festival first came out. But the problem here is, for whatever reason, jam tracks. Some people pointed this out online. How the jam track version of the, let's say, the Make It Known FNCS pack. The music pack version, the lobby track, that one had different lyrics than the jam track version. And also, I have noticed sometimes where, if I were to use jam tracks as lobby music, for whatever reason, it just doesn't play the entire song for whatever reason, which is why I normally use lobby tracks for whenever I'm doing the item shop rather than jam tracks. But as to how much they should be costing, I honestly don't even know. Like, definitely lower than 500, maybe 300. At least in the state that they're in, I could see maybe there being some justification for keeping their price at 500 if they fix all the problems with it. As for different animations for certain songs like Juice WRLD Dancing Next to the Mic, if you're assuming you're talking about Festival, yeah, I don't see why not. Why they couldn't have different animations. I was gonna say that they should stop trying to make the game look realistic, or that console should have a performance mode like PC. But a lot of people have agreed with those, so I think it's a no longer unpopular. So instead, I will say, I think Fortnite fumbled the MK collab hard. I think the skins should have had more styles and bonus stuff included with the skin instead of separate from the skin, or make it less than 1,500 V-Bucks. I think the mythics weren't as powerful enough. I had a feeling I wasn't alone on the whole Mortal Kombat stuff being OP. But you think they fumbled the Mortal Kombat collab really hard because you think the skin should have had more styles and more bonus stuff included with the skin instead of separate from the skin. Besides styles, what else do you mean by bonus stuff included with the skin? Do you mean like a built-in emote, for example? Because that's the only thing I can really think of. And if that's what you're talking about, I don't want to see a built-in emote for them because I didn't like it with the Street Fighter skins. For Mortal Kombat, I like that everything is separate and you can use it on anybody you want. But could they have had more styles? Absolutely. I know these are all based off of Mortal Kombat 3, but even then, I still feel like they probably could have done more with them. As to what they could have done, I don't know, just like you said, just more styles and all that. The rest of the cosmetics I think are fine, I guess. But did they fumble this collab? I'll at least say it probably failed to meet expectations. They fumbled hard with it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Melee weapons ruined this entire season, and it's the reason why it's not fun anymore. People keep spamming them. I'm pretty sure that this is the reason as to why they added in durability on melee weapons, so that way people have to use them a little bit more sparingly because they have durability now. But we already talked on the Mortal Kombat weapons, so I'm gonna treat this as if you're talking about the kneecapper. The baseball bat thing. So that thing is good for mobility, and you can hit people with it. Just hit him, just swing the bat at him. You probably send him flying or something like that. I've seen some creative videos on how people use the kneecapper, such as Nick A30 camping like a porta potty and then hitting people as soon as they jump out of it and just sending them flying. But besides that, have people really complained about the kneecapper? I don't think so. I don't think... Are melee weapons as big of a problem as, say, Chapter 5, Season 3 with the Nitro Fist, or last season with the Typhoon Blade? I would say no, because I haven't seen as many people complain. Yeah, I see people always complaining about melee weapons, but then this also goes into the question of, do melee weapons even belong in Battle Royale? Because I remember back in Chapter 1, people were wanting the idea, and liked the idea of a melee weapon. Next thing you know, they brought in the Infinity Blade, and because of the timing, people did not really like it. So I feel like that right there probably left a sour taste in people's mouth when it came to melee weapons forever. But did it ruin this season? This season isn't even over, but I wouldn't say it's ruined. Here's an unpopular one. Renegade Raider is an ugly, god-awful skin that is grossly overhyped by OG players. Yes, 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 yes. Without a doubt, it is overhyped by people. I'm gonna treat this as if these skins haven't returned yet, because they did return for OG Season 1, but I'm gonna treat it as if they didn't return. But without a doubt, I do think that Renegade Raider, I'll say this, I don't use her very much, but I think she looks neat for what she was supposed to be at the time, and I think a lot more people do agree with that and all that, because that's why more people have Renegade Raider than they do Aerial Assault Trooper, because all he was just a default with a helmet on. But Renegade Raider, she looked a little bit more unique, so she seemed kind of neat. And this was way before people even started to like the girl skins as much as they do now. And yeah, overhyped by the OG players, without a doubt. I don't think Renegade Raider is anything too special, even when she was rare. But enough people liked her to where Epic decided to make reskins of her. and in this case also bring her back. The Metaverse project is a failed project and should never have been implemented the way that they did and how sloppy it was. I seen people like Clen and all that stuff, like the idea of the Metaverse. I don't hate it entirely, but here's the thing. If Donald Mustard was still around and he was still in charge of this, yeah, the Metaverse and all the Metaverse modes, they would not have been implemented the way they were. I guarantee you that if Donald had it his way, Lego, for example, would have already had all the Battle Royale skins updated for Lego. So in that sense, it wouldn't have ruined the item shop very much because they wouldn't be restricting what can and can't return depending on if it could be used in Lego. Stuff like the Fortnite crew would probably already be much better than it already was back then, where if you buy it, it would automatically give you the other mini passes like the Festival Pass. Jam tracks probably would have already been usable as a jam track. And, same thing for instruments, they'd be already usable as backblings and pickaxes. Rocket Racing, I feel like it probably would have ended up like this anyway. I know what people wanted for that was for it to be like Mario Kart. The Metaverse, with time, I do think it probably, as of right now, with Charlie Wen being in charge, I do think it will get better over time. Is it getting worse right now? I think it'll get worse if Epic decides to continue adding in more modes. And here's another thing. From what I've heard, I think this is like a few weeks old, maybe a month old now. I heard that Epic is going to be adding a mini Battle Royale where it's like 50 players at max or something like that. Now, stuff like that, Reload or the Fortnite OG, I don't consider those being like, Metaverse game modes because they're still basically Battle Royale. If those are Metaverse game modes, then that would make Call of Duty a Metaverse game. So I'm not counting those as Metaverse modes. I'm talking stuff like Brick Life, Lego Fortnite Odyssey, Festival, Ballistic, you get the idea. And I actually do remember Cypher PK talking about stuff like how Lego and Ballistic kind of felt like watered down versions of what they were based off of, like Ballistic being a watered down version of CSGO or Valorant. There was no Fortnite twist to it. Because I guess Epic was trying to test, is this a mode worth, putting their time into? Again, with time, I think it will get better, but at the same time, I think it will only get worse if Epic decides to continue adding in, more and more modes every single year as they have. Last year, it was Lego Odyssey, Rocket Racing, and Festival. In the middle of 2024, they brought in Battle Stage, Reload, and Fall Guys. Then at the end of 2024, they introduced Lego Brick Life, Ballistic, and Fortnite Permanent OG. It does feel like it's a little bit too much, and I would like for Epic to slow down so that way, they're not splitting the player base as much. They can focus on everything and make them all really, really good. But that's what I think. And that's pretty much it for this video, though. We had some good ones this time around. I like this one. With how the next season might be a 1 month one, I probably won't do this video next season. But the season after that, assuming it's longer, I probably will try an Unpopular Opinions video again. Or I might try to do it next season in that 1 month. But it might not be released in that month, though. Just a heads up for you guys, though. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, though. If you did, let me know with a like. Comment down below your thoughts on everything I just talked on. If you'd like to support me, my code is RageQuickGod. And I'll see y'all around. I know I just said see y'all around, but I almost skimmed over this one. Sorry, I almost didn't see it. This last Unpopular Opinion, I feel like the price of kicks is currently at 600 or 1000 V-Bucks is way too overpriced. Like, I get Epic likes money, but I think they should be at least 200 to 500 V-Bucks. Same with the car skins. They are way too overpriced. I get Epic reduced their prices, but I think they're too expensive. Cars, to an extent, are much better priced than they were originally. I think this is as low as Epic is going to go. So, if you don't want a car, I guess just don't buy it, because I don't think they're going to go any lower. Kicks, without a doubt, are overpriced. They should probably be like 300 or something like that. And something else that they should do, kind of like what they do with instruments, the way they made it to where you can use them as a backbling or pickaxe. They could probably do something similar to that with kicks. At least that's just my opinion. Now for real this time, and I'll see y'all around.